Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of Organic Matters, brought to you by the Irish Organic Association. I think we are in for an absolute treat this week because with us is Claire O'Connor, who has started the Manna organic store in Tralee. Now, it's been going for a couple of years. I have been there. I think it's brilliant, so I'm a little bit biased. But was it always in your head when you were growing up that you wanted to run a shop and you wanted to be organic, or how did it all come about?
Very circuitously. Absolutely no. In fact, I spent quite a lot of time as a youngster making sure I didn't marry a farmer. Um, so I married a surfer who turned into a farmer just to trick me. No, he didn't. It was, but yeah. So I was a plastics engineer and I got a job down here as a quality assurance manager. And when I was down here, I met Thomas, who I later married. And after traveling while he was surfing and I was writing. When we came back to Ireland, we ended up protesting GM being planted in the Hill of Tara. It was all very dramatic about 15, 20 years ago. And during that period of time, we met people from the Organic College and we were looking for a change because I was working at that time prior to that as a computer programmer, and so we were looking for a change, and so yeah, we ended up kind of we went to the Organic College, thought it was great, sold our business and bought a farm, and that's how we started off. The idea was to supply the store because Manna actually already existed. Part of that, we would shop there ourselves. It had been set up by a local guy, and so yeah, around the time that we were looking to buy the farm, he was actually looking to sell and get out of it. He'd been in it for 5 years. So we bought the shop off him at the same time. And just with the way things happen and with the way things grow, both businesses really needed to be managed, not necessarily separately, but we needed somebody to be, in charge of each. So I ended up eventually running the store by myself, and Thomas runs the farm and I help him and he helps me. And it works really, really well together. And it's great for him because I know what sells well, so he grows what I need, and he doesn't have to worry about trying to market the stuff that he grows or to be dealing with any of that side of things, because I do all of that for him.
And what does sell well? Have things surprised you?
Well, I suppose the fruit and veg had always been the main part of what we do. The demand for local vegetables is off the charts, and everything that we bring in from our own farms and from the other local farms that supply us, all of that sells out. I'm very rarely left with leftovers of Irish stuff. Not that anything actually goes to waste, because obviously it all goes back to the farm and it's either fed to the chickens or becomes compost, including the boxes and stuff that comes in. They all go back and get composted if they're not given out to customers, like the ones that aren't good enough to be reused, get composted. So we have a very low waste stream from the shop, which is great. But yeah, I suppose fruit is always a great seller. Salads, greens, wheatgrass, yeah, anything local is always sells really well. And yeah, we have a good selection of chocolate as well, if I do say so myself, and that's quite a good seller. True.
Coming back to your farm for a second, is there anything specific that you're doing at the minute?
Well, my husband is really involved in lots of different areas of farming. He's involved in the Transition Kerry, the Biodynamic Association, and Talamh Beo. Talamh Beo is the Irish Land Workers Alliance. So it's and they've got a European EIP going on soil biodiversity. So so this year and last year it's been all about the soil. And one of the things we've been doing even prior to that actually was the use of we bought in organic fungi, mycelium, garden giant, and we actually grow that between the beds of our vegetables, because the mycelium from those mushrooms has a really good symbiotic relationship with the roots of vegetable plants. So it
just for someone who might not know, you can nearly see mycelium when you dig it up. I'm right.
Yeah, it's white. Yeah, it's white. So basically mushrooms are the mushrooms that we eat. That's the fruiting body. So that's like the apple on the tree, and mycelium is actually the actual mushroom plant, I suppose, or tree, but it's neither of those things. Obviously it's a unique genus, or I'm really not up on the science of it, but basically, so it's a separate entity, and so the mycelium is the actual body of stuff, and so that that works underneath the soil, and it decomposes stuff. So so we run it through wood chips, and so our wood chip paths in between our beds are they've been inoculated with this garden gelatin, and so it goes, the mycelium goes through the wood chips and it breaks it down. And while it's doing that, it's actually sending out its runners into the soil beds on either side, where it interacts with the roots of the plants, and so it shares nutrients from the soil with the plants, and so on, and so it benefits them. It helps them to grow better and faster and more efficiently, and it gains, I don't know what it gets out of it, like, but it definitely works in a kind of a symbiotic relationship with the roots of the plants. So, but you can actually eat the mushrooms as well. And he's doing experiments with more edible and medicinal mushrooms, like shiitake and oyster, and regular chestnut, I think. So he's got a few different mushrooms going on in different types of logs from trees from our own farms as well. So they're kind of all stacked up. So so yeah, mushrooms are his big thing at the moment, mushrooms and soil.
Is that part of the fascination of farming though? Because you always go through kind of a different evolution. I think every year you always try something maybe a little bit different, whether it's like for us here, we're trying bees this year, along with some other bits, but for your husband, it's mushrooms, that's kind of the fun part of it, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Now he is over the years, like there's always something new going on. So like we are a mixed farm, so we have a little bit of native Irish forestry. We've got about an acre and a half of orchard, including cherries, and which we've never had any cherries from, but they're still there. There's time yet, and plums and damsons, as well as the apples. And we have some bees as well. We have 3 hives, just 3 small hives, but they're there and they're working away. I saw them on Saturday when I went for a night's walk around the farm by myself, happily buzzing away. And yeah, we've got the veg, we've got the fruit bushes. We have some terraced areas where there's going to be some agroforestry going on, and the herbs and so on. So there's a lot of different things, and we're social farmers as well. It's a pilot project in Kerry, but I think they've spread it out across Ireland in a few different counties, and hopefully it'll take on in some more as well. So yeah, a few different things going on.
I guess, for why specifically organic? Because am I right in thinking that everything in your store is certified organic? You're a certified organic store.
Yeah, so all of the food in the store is organic, and we also have some skincare product that's made locally, like from Flourish in Clarny, that's organic certified. And Liz O'Hanlon, who also sells us our dried teas, and some vegetables and stuff during the year, and she does seaweed baths and so on. She also makes organic skincare products, and we sell her stuff as well. So all of the food in the store is organic, bar the honey, water, and salt, because we sell Irish honey. We also sell certified organic honey from abroad, but all of our Irish honey, due to the 5 miles that you need around your apiary to be organic, so our honey is local. Some of it comes from organic farms and some of it doesn't. But I know all the beekeepers personally, and I know how they're managing their hives. So I mentioned earlier we were traveling for a year, in a van. It was great fun. We were very young, obviously, back then, and I didn't realize how ill I'd been when we were in Ireland until I came back from traveling. And within about 2 weeks of getting back, I was headachy. I wasn't able to get out of bed in the morning easily anymore. My stomach was upset all the time, and I was so run down. And literally just 2 weeks after coming back, I was so ill, and I realized that that's exactly how I'd felt almost all the time when we had been in Ireland before we left, and the only thing that had changed was what we were eating. So when we were traveling, we were buying fresh food every day from the local markets. I was cooking everything from scratch, but when we come back to Ireland, I'd immediately gone back to the way we'd been eating before, a lot of takeouts, because we were celebrating with everybody that we hadn't seen for a year, and eating a lot of sweets and what have you. But so I went looking to see what I could do to improve my health. I found the organic store in the town that we lived in. Somebody had recommended that I go in and visit Hugh, who'd owned the place. And through food, I managed to change very quickly back to how I'd been when we were traveling. So I was happy and healthy again. And so while we were doing that, like I said, we were looking for something new to do with our lives. We realized we found the organic college, went there, and we sold our business and bought a farm. So
It's a
yeah.
very brave thing to do, and but it strikes me as well when you talk about traveling around and buying food from fresh markets. When I think of France, for example, they have kind of town squares and market squares, where you can buy fresh food all the time. Is there a sea change, do you think, in the Irish consumer where they're coming in and actively looking for local food and fresh food
Yeah.
and hopefully organic food as well?
Definitely, yeah. It's like since we did this, which was in 2008, 2000, yeah, 2007, 2008, we bought the farm and the business. Like I can't remember which one was which, but it was around the same time we bought both of them. And so the business was doing okay from then, but it has grown every single year since. The demand has grown year on year. Now obviously the pandemic was life-changing for everybody, and the demand for local food and the demand for organic food really grew through that. Lots of people taking better care of their health, going running, going walking, taking care of their mental health, slowing down, looking at what they were doing with their lives, changing jobs. So along with that, a lot of people started growing their own vegetables as well, getting more involved with nature. And so there's been a huge upswell in people paying more attention to their diets and to how they feel when they eat. And I think that how you feel when you eat and how you feel after you've eaten, I think is a really good gauge for people to have a look at what's on their plate and to make them reevaluate maybe, because I mean, like we all eat 3 times a day, some of us less, some of us more, but it's a huge thing that you do, and the consequences of what we eat really play out, maybe not necessarily in the short term, as they always did for me, but sometimes in the long term. So our health is very dependent on what we eat and how we eat, and I think organic really has a great role to play in keeping people in Ireland healthy.
Has that demand been sustained? Because a usual criticism of organics or the organic sector is that the demand in Ireland isn't there and that consumers aren't willing to pay more for food. Say, for example, normal milk per litre might cost, I think, around 90 cents, whereas organic milk per litre might cost around €2. I mean, has it actually been sustained? Are consumers still willing to pay more after the pandemic for their food?
Well, there is this year there has been a slight drop off from the business that we were doing over the last 2 years. But that's not a surprise. You kind of still expect that to an extent. But the demand for local produce is huge. The demand for organic produce is huge, and the demand for Irish organic produce is definitely there. Like I said, we sell out of everything that we bring in from local suppliers. I can't keep enough stock in the store. So it's I think we need more organic growers out there and more organic producers. There's a lovely wholesaler in Dublin, and they only sell Irish produced food, which is great. And he delivers to me every Friday. And this Friday we have another new organic product coming in from King of Kefir. So it's an Irish water kefir product that's organic. So we're delighted to be bringing that in this week as a new product to the store. So yeah, but there's loads of Irish organic produce out there where people on their farms are making something from what they do. Like we have the Kilbeggan oats and the Denani flour and flour from Irish organic mills. There's so much stuff out there, and more and more. There's a huge demand for it, and it's a lovely lifestyle. Like, I mean, I love living on our farm and I love what I do for a living. There's room for way more organic stores as well. Like there really should be one in every town and village and city. There should be a few in every city. So there's definitely room for organics to grow in Ireland, and I really do think the demand is out there.
With your wealth of experience and with, I guess, the experience that you went through as well, what would need to be done, or what incentives or supports would need to be there for something like an organic store in every town?
Um, yeah, I suppose we were kind of lucky because it was there, but Hugh had worked before and he just decided to do it. I don't think there are many supports for retail specifically, especially not for opening something new in retail. But like the farmers market side of thing is a really great place to start if you have organic farm and you're selling your organic produce. So either the farmers market or the CSA model, it's a really good place to start and to judge to see how much demand is in your area, if you want to sell directly to the customer like that, and to start up that way. And then once you realize whether or not that's going to work for you, the local enterprise offices they're really fantastic with training and stuff. They've got the start your business course, the grow your business course. They do courses on social media, and even on how to make little videos to promote yourself and whatever. They even did a retail process design course there that we did a few years ago on how your business looks and how you manage your business. So there are supports out there. There could be more supports, which would be fantastic. Even the organic supports could be better, like, but they do what they can. And I think we're really lucky to have the IOA because they're always there at the end of the phone if you've got a question. They do so much work on our behalf, both in Ireland and in Europe. So we have been very lucky with the IOA. So yeah, I think if you want to do it, just do it. And if anybody did want to open an organic store, come down and chat to me. I'll tell you about my suppliers. I'll tell you how it works. I'd be delighted to help you out if I thought there was going to be another organic store somewhere. Please do come visit me.
For Manna, what's the next step? What are your aims now? Do you have a 5-year plan or even a 1-year plan? Where are things going?
Yeah, so we're every year we invest on the farm, but this year we're putting more polytunnels up to grow more stuff, which is great. We're doing a lot of seed saving. We're seed guardians for seed savers. We're part of the Seed Guardian program. So we are doing more expansion and stuff on the farm that way. And for the shop, I suppose we're in debates about going in two directions, whether or not I actually physically expand the store and make it bigger, because there is actually an option for that. And I know most retail premises don't have the option of making your space bigger because you're constrained, but there's actually space behind us that we could move into and expand out that way. And or maybe take the business online, which despite being an ex-computer programmer, I'm still dragging my heels over, but I might get around to it one of these days.
And is it the delivery side of things you'd be wary of, or what would it?
It's just, I think I really enjoy the face-to-face side of things with the customers. You can help them make the decisions. We swap recipes, we talk about new products. We have a lot of customers who have been going through different health journeys, and they're looking for ways to support them that way. And we know our customers, and that's really lovely. And I think that will be really missing from an online side of things. But business wise, I suppose it makes sense, but I guess I'm just not really feeling it in my heart.
That type of consumer that's coming into you, do you have a very specific type of consumer that comes into you, or do you find that they're from all different backgrounds but they all just share a passion for local food, or is it organic food?
Yeah, I think going into it, I really thought that our customer base would be just, hardcore environmentalists, and people like me who had needed to change for their diets and stuff. But we, like anybody and everybody, we have students from the college, we've kids and teenagers coming in, we have empty nesters, we have people who are just having their first baby. We have people we have some customers that have been with us since the day we opened. We have people who have recovered from serious illnesses. And we have people who shop with us purely because they like the taste of organic food. We do have environmentalists and activists. So all across all different types of socioeconomic backgrounds and age demographics. Yeah, I've been asked to do this as part of one of the business courses that I was doing, was to kind of narrow down your demographic, and all the other businesses around me, like, they realized their demographic was like sort of 2 or 3 sections, and like I had like about 10, and he was like, and you have to narrow it down. I'm like, they're all different. And he was like, yeah, actually they are all different. And I had narrowed it down to get it into about 10 brackets. But yeah, so we see people from and we have people who come to us just because we are the closest shop to them as well.
Yeah.
Which is kind of really nice to feel that I'm somebody's corner store, like.
Yeah, someone's local in a way. Final question: if you were in your shop and you could only take 5 things home with you for that evening, what would you take home and why?
Oh my goodness, that would be so hard. I definitely have to take some of the apples, because the apples are just always so amazing. At the moment it's Elstar and Red Prince, and they are just so delicious. So I definitely take home apples. I would take a bag of the mixed salad, which actually I probably shouldn't, because it comes from our own farm, but it's I still occasionally lazily take home a bag of mixed salad from our own farm to our farm, which is hilarious, I suppose. But yeah, we do that. Probably a bar of the Vanny chocolate. It's a German brand of chocolate. It's so good. I really like the 70% with cranberry in it. That's probably my favorite. What else would I take? I would take some Mossfield cheese for my husband. He absolutely adores that. We buy 2 large boxes of that every time we bring in a delivery of that, and I'd say at least 10% of it goes back to my house. What else would I take? I think I'd probably take the staff home and cook them dinner. That's, if I could take only one more thing home, I would take that. They're great girls. I'm really lucky to have them all.
That's brilliant. Well, Claire, thank you very much. And for anyone who's listening, make sure and visit Claire if you're ever in Tralee, or you never know, she might go online at some stage as well in the future. But thank you very much for tuning in. You've been listening to the Organic Matters podcast, brought to you by the Irish Organic Association. And for more information, you can go to their website, www.irishodganicassociation.ie. But for now, I'm Hannah Quinn Mulligan, and thank you very much for tuning in.